CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
More crime in the streets. A late-night domestic dispute in Victoria has sent one man to the hospital suffering serious stab wounds and has sent a woman to jail. The knife came out in the 2600 block of Pryor Street just before midnight last night. A 24-year-old Victoria man was rushed to hospital for emergency surgery after he was stabbed in the chest, police say, by his 30-year-old girlfriend. When officers rolled up to the scene, they found a man unconscious and bleeding heavily. The first responders administered first aid and stabilized him till the paramedics got there. The investigation has now been turned over to the Regional Domestic Violence Unit. The woman is facing charges of aggravated assault. Well, you can bake with it, you can make tea with it, you can spread it on your toast, but only if you are legally allowed to use it for medical reasons. And today, medicinal marijuana baker Owen Smith was back in court to defend his case to cook with cannabis. Today, the court ruled that only those who use marijuana for medical purposes can do so in baked goods or in liquids. Smith says he does not use it for medical reasons, but he argues that he should be allowed to bake for those who do. This case is getting national attention. A federal Crown lawyer representing Health Canada watched the proceedings and says the ruling seems simple, but it has major consequences. Smith's defense says the decision today is a step in the right direction.
It's a natural health product that people have been using for thousands of years safely and effectively. And I hope that this decision represents a step on an evolutionary path towards some rational medical cannabis policy in this country. The effect of the judge's ruling, coupled with the great case we're going to put forward in front of the jury, will convince the jury that what Mr. Smith was doing was important and was necessary. And he ought not to be convicted of a crime for helping sick people.
The courts suspended Smith from production for 1 year. A jury trial is set for next February. Smith was defending his charges of possession for the purpose of trafficking and possession of a controlled substance. Well, if you are elderly or if you have elderly parents you're watching out for, a warning tonight. Vancouver police say there has been a spike in the number of lottery scams targeting seniors, and in some cases, seniors have been duped out of their entire life savings. Vancouver police say people were told that they had won huge lotto jackpots, but had to send in fees and taxes, sometimes thousands of dollars, to claim the prize. In one case, an 89-year-old woman sent $70,000 to a Vancouver account to collect the false winnings. Police have so far made 4 arrests in the case. Each of the person accused in the scam is facing charges of fraud. Well, if you're a dog owner and a dog lover, a North Saanich veterinarian has a warning tonight about a potential outbreak of raccoon roundworm that's going around the region. The veterinarian says 6 cases of this dangerous parasite have been confirmed in dogs. The parasite's eggs are found in raccoon feces. And when the dogs eat it, as they will, the raccoon roundworm can be deadly.
Raccoons have a bathroom area, and dogs really like to eat it, and then they can bring it even in their feet into the house. And children are especially susceptible. So mainly the thrust of this is prevention, because it can't be treated.
Veterinarians say it's important to get your pets dewormed and be careful in areas where there are raccoons, and there are many on the island. They also suggest wearing gloves when you're gardening outside. One dog owner who lost 2 of her 6 beloved dogs after all 6 tested positive for the dangerous parasite says she noticed that her animals were acting bizarre and decided to get the pups checked out.
I had no idea that there were parasites and larvae out there that were so deadly and so dangerous. So this is the message I want people to see. If you're out gardening and mucking around, as I do out here, to be conscious about washing your hands before you're doing that. That is really the message I want. I don't want anyone else to go through the kind of pain that I have.
Now, it is rare, but there have been cases where raccoon roundworm has spread to humans as well, sometimes with deadly results. The symptoms of raccoon roundworm include lethargy, stiff joints, seizures, and blindness. Doctors say the most important thing you can do to avoid infection is to wash your hands frequently, especially if you have been in an area where raccoons may have been present. Another scam targeting the elderly to tell you about. A woman in the Comox Valley was the target, convinced to hand over $500 in cash to a man who claimed he worked for the Comox Public Works Department. Mounties say the man knocked on the door of the woman's home on Holly Place. He told her a water main outside her home needed to be fixed, and her share of the repair was $500. That needed to be paid before work could begin. She believed him, gave him the money, but never saw him again.
This lady is quite elderly, and she's got limited vision and hearing as well, and very trusting, right? So I think she fully Thought this was a legit claim, this man who came to her door and just wanted to do the right thing. And when her husband came home and found out what had happened, that's when it kind of came to light that this was possibly a scam.
RCMP confirmed with the town that no one was collecting money on its behalf, and the town said it would never require anyone to pay cash up front for a municipal repair job. Police ask anyone who may have any information about it is to contact them at the Comox Valley Detachment. 3 more public spaces in Nanaimo are going to the dogs, designated as off-leash parks for the pups to explore. St. George Ravine Park, the north end of Invermere Beach, and the trails on the upper section of the Colliery Dam Park, are now officially off-leash sites. The city used those locations for a pilot project throughout 2011 to see if man and dog could coexist without being on a leash. The public response was so positive, Nanaimo has made it official.
We are trying to give people different types of experiences. So there's natural settings, there's fenced areas, and there's wooded trails as well that have really no borders. So definitely a variety of characteristics. And we're also hearing from people in general in the park that dog etiquette is something that we really want to educate people, that there are expectations to have your dog on leash if it's not an off-leash area, and also to pick up after your dog.
The city is adding 3 more pilot sites for off-leash parks. That'll be Wardropper Park, Gallows Point on Protection Island, and a 1-kilometer trail loop near May Richards Bennett Pioneer Park. The addition of the new sites brings the total number of off-leash options for dog owners to 11 parks throughout the city.